Welcome to our last class of the visual effects course, and this is probably one of our more exciting classes that we're doing, and it's because we're going to be mixing live action with CG graphics. So if I play this through, we can see that what we've got here is the spaceship that comes down, follows this car, and as it comes over we get all these weird light effects as if some kind of maybe alien abduction is going on. But here's the tricky part that we're about to see right now, because what we've got is a sign that exists in our live action footage, and we have got to somehow make our ship go behind that sign and look like it's all kind of part of the environment. So we've got a bunch of stuff to do here, and we'll jump right into it. As always, we've got you covered with all of the footage that you need. We've got some light leaks that are going to give us all these kind of effects for the end here. We've got the footage of the car moving down the street, and of course we've got our own CG graphics which we've created for you. We'll get started by bringing in all of our footage that we need. So the light leaks and the background footage we'll bring in. Now for the CG footage, go to File, Import and choose File. And go to the folder called Ship. Select the first image and make sure it says this PNG sequence. Click Open, and there we can see the entire sequence is brought in 0 to 285. So we can't just drag that one in because it needs to incorporate it in that specific way, because it turns it into a video clip for us. Okay, great. So we're going to get started with the background. So grab the Pexels video, drag it over the new composition icon, and there it is in there, all looking good. And then we're just going to bring the ship over the top of this. And here it is, you'll see it coming in, all works good. And this is the bit that we've really got to fix, this part here. So let's go ahead and do that. So first of all, we need to make our ship go to the frame just before it hits this. Okay, so the frame just before we hit it, and we're going to press Alt and the right square bracket so that we trim this layer to this particular point here. Then we're going to duplicate that layer, Command D, Control D on a PC. Let's drag this out again. And I'm going to move one frame along. So I'll use my one frame along button. And then I'm going to do Alt and the left square bracket on this one. I'm going to come forward until it's cleared. It's got to come over the top. So there we go. It's definitely cleared it at that point. So I'm going to do Alt on my right square bracket. Duplicate again. Let's grab this one all the way to the end. Let's move along one more frame. Alt, left square bracket. So in other words, we've just got it onto 3 separate layers, before, during, and after. And that's so that we can just apply to the during part a mask. Because if we masked all of it, we'd have to continue the mask on for the rest of it. So we don't want to do that. Okay, now what we need to do is duplicate the background. So let's go ahead and do that. Duplicate. Let's bring that up behind the ship because that'll make it nice and easy for us to see. So let's go back one frame. Yeah, that's it. It's gone. So we'll come forward one frame. We need to trim it right here. So Alt, left square bracket. Let's go across to the end. There we go. Alt, right square bracket. So both of those are the exact same length. Now with that in place, I now need to bring that video above the ship. So let's do that. So it's above the top of the ship. And now what we're going to do is turn this layer of video into a mask just by using effects. So I'm going to go to Effect and Color Correction and Hue Saturation. In the in the saturation rather, we're going to drag the saturation right the way back so it's just a grayscale image. And we're going to bring the lightness of this up to like +13, something like that. And now what we're beginning to see is it's beginning to go quite dark here, which is good enough for a mask, but not enough round here. Like we need that to be white and this to be pure black. So we're going to do the same thing again. Get another effect, color correction, and we're going to go down to curves. And I'm going to drag this right the way down. So it's flat like that. That's lovely and dark now. First, now we've got to consider this area here. So I'll grab one more. Take it up, and now we can see we've got right here, exactly where it counts for us, a pure black and a pure white image, which is perfect for what we want. So now with this one layer that we've got, we're going to say that this has a track matte. So let's go choose the track matte, and we're going to use the Luma matte of that layer. So there we go, and look at that. As simple as that, we've done the most complicated part of this entire tutorial. So that's fantastic. Working for us absolutely perfectly. Everything else that we do from this point onwards really is just fine tuning and making this work even better. So the next thing that I'm going to do is, let's bring this along to about here. I'm going to put a new layer in. Layer, new, and it's going to be a solid layer. And I want this to be white, so make sure it is white before you say OK. And this is going to be a little bit of a glow on the floor. T for opacity. And let's take the opacity down just so we can see what we're doing. Now I'm going to go to the rectangle and choose an ellipse, and I'm basically just going to draw an ellipse there on the ground. Something like that, so it looks like it's part of that ship. Round about there. Okay, let's go into that mask and let's feather the edges of the mask. Let's do that. Bring the feather in. Now we'll press T again. Bring it right the way back up again, and we'll change the blending mode of that to overlay. Okay, so what that does is now is it lightens up the floor right there. So just about there is good for the opacity of that. So let's put a keyframe there, and then let's go back this way. And I'm going to take the opacity of that right down to 0. So basically, as the ship comes down, the light appears on the ground, and that's good. And then it starts to move. So we now need to press P for position on this layer, and we're just going to move the position of this around. Let's put a keyframe where we are, and we'll just move forward a few frames. And I think we'll just move it a little bit this way because we can see there's a bit of movement going on. And a bit more movement. So we can just use our cursor keys to move it around. Now it starts to move a little bit more, so keep it going. Something like that. Back this way a little bit, and it starts to move quite fast. And then I'm going to use the scale in a minute. Okay, let's get that all the way off the edge of the screen. So if I hold down Shift at the same time, I can move 10 at a time, and that should take it right out. Okay, so now I'm going to do my scaling. So I'll start my scaling probably about here. So let's press S for scale. Let's put a keyframe in. And then if I press U, I can see my position, my scale, and my opacity all at once. They're the user-defined keyframes on this particular layer. So let's come across this way. And then quite close here. So let's bring the scale up. And as you can see, it scales up from a weird position, but we're going to fix that in a minute. So let's do that. Then as we get over here, we want the scale to be a bit bigger again, so let's scale it up a bit more. Okay, and then now we're going to select each of those keyframes on the position. Let's move the position up there, and a little bit off the edge. There we go, and we can just keep using the arrow keys to move it back and forth. And that should be probably good. Okay, let's click off there so we don't see it, and now let's watch it again. Light appears. There we go. Okay, now what we need to do is just add a few extra touches to this. Let's go back to the project, And let's get our overlay. And actually, let's get the light leaks first of all. Let's put this on about somewhere about here. And I'm going to change the blending mode of this to linear dodge. And then we start to see some light effects happening there, which is good. So I'm going to tint those. And I'm going to tint the white to a sort of bluish colour, because we've seen the lights of the ship here that are kind of a bluish colour. We should see some of those. Let's bring that back a little bit this way. There we go. So that we get some of those effects. And then we need a few more. So we'll go to our other one that we've got, which is the overlay. Let's grab that and drag it on just above. Who we got here? I'm going to rotate this around so it's at the top. So let's press R for rotate, 180. Again, linear dodge. And I'm going to take the saturation of that down a little bit. So effect, color correction, hue saturation. Let's take it down to like about 50%. And now let's watch the whole thing. Okay, perfect. So once you've got something like that, again, we can save our project, go to composition, add to Adobe Media Encoder Queue, and that's us then bringing in our video and putting over the top of that some CG graphics and making them look like they blend together. Really, the main part is getting the mask just right about here, and because that's the key part to this, making it look like it kind of really belongs in the scene.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Click the link in the description below to explore more free online professional development on the Adobe Education Exchange. And click the link on screen to subscribe to the channel for more videos.